Commander Zethkar watched the tactical display with what passed for satisfaction among his species. The blue dots representing human vessels were scattered, retreating, their formations broken. After 3 years of war, the hegemony was finally winning. "Sir," his communications officer hissed through mandibles, "the human fleet is requesting parley." Zethkar's 4 eyes narrowed. "Put them through." The hologram materialized. Admiral Sarah Chen, her weathered face bearing the weight of humanity's losses. Her uniform was pristine despite the chaos around her, a testament to human stubbornness even in defeat. "Commander," she said, her voice steady, "I'm prepared to discuss terms." "There are no terms," Zethkar replied. "Surrender now, and your species will be allowed to exist as laborers. Continue fighting and face extinction." Chen's expression didn't change. "I see. In that case, I have one final request." "Speak. Give us 24 hours to say goodbye to our homeworld. Let our people see Earth one last time before—" She paused, as if struggling with the words. "Before we surrender our sovereignty." Zethkar considered this. The human fleet was crippled, their colonies burning. What harm could there be in allowing them this final dignity? The other hegemony races would see it as magnanimous. "Granted," he said. 24 hours, then you will surrender unconditionally." The transmission ended and Zethkar settled back in his command chair. The war was over. Across the galaxy, similar scenes played out. The Veltar Empire, the Kron Confederacy, the Astral Collective, all received the same message from retreating human forces. All granted the same final request: 24 hours to mourn their defeat. What none of them understood was that humanity had been preparing for this moment since the war began. Deep beneath the surface of Luna, in caverns carved from ancient rock, the last great project of human civilization hummed to life. Project Erebus had been 3 years in the making, a network of gravitational manipulators hidden throughout human space, powered by the cores of dying stars. Dr. Elena Vasquez watched the countdown timer reach 0 and pressed the activation key. Across 17 star systems, reality screamed. The first sign was the gravitational distortion. Stars that had burned for billions of years suddenly found their fusion processes disrupted. Planets were pulled from their orbits but not destroyed, guided into new configurations by forces beyond the comprehension of the watching alien fleets. Then came the darkness. One by one, the stars went out. Not extinguished, but hidden, their light bent and twisted through dimensional folds that humanity had discovered in the ruins of an ancient civilization. The galaxy's major trade routes, carefully mapped over millennia of exploration, became useless as navigational beacons vanished. But the humans knew exactly where they were going. Zethkar's bridge erupted in chaos as his sensors went mad. "Report," he barked. "Sir, we're detecting massive gravitational anomalies across all human systems. The stars, they're disappearing from our sensors." "Impossible. Stars don't just—" The communication array crackled to life. Admiral Chen's voice filled the bridge, but now it carried a different tone entirely. "Attention all hegemony forces. This is Admiral Chen. I lied about surrendering." Zethkar's blood ran cold as he watched his tactical display. The human ships that had been retreating were now moving with purpose, their formations reforming with military precision. "For 3 years you've hunted us across the galaxy," Chen continued. "You've burned our colonies, enslaved our people, and declared our species unfit for sovereignty. You thought you understood humanity's nature, that we would break under pressure, surrender when faced with extinction." The lights on Zethkar's ship flickered as gravitational waves washed over them. "You were wrong. Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our numbers. It's our willingness to do what others consider impossible. When faced with extinction, we don't just fight back. We change the rules of the game entirely." On screens across the galaxy, alien commanders watched in horror as the star map they had relied upon for generations became meaningless. Trade, routes that connected their empires were severed, Navigation systems failed as reference points vanished into engineered darkness, but the humans moved through it all like sharks through black water. "We've hidden the stars," Chen's voice echoed, "across countless bridges. Every major navigational beacon in this sector is now invisible to your sensors, but perfectly visible to ours. Your fleets are blind. Your supply lines are severed. Your empires are isolated." The truth of it hit Zethkar like a physical blow. Without the stars to navigate by, his fleet was trapped in whatever system they currently occupied. The same was true for every hegemony force in human space. "This is your new reality," Chen continued. "You wanted to rule the galaxy? Congratulations. You now rule scattered islands of light in an ocean of engineered darkness. Your choice is simple. Withdraw all forces from human space and return our people, or spend the rest of your civilizations trapped in the systems you currently occupy." Zethkar looked at his tactical display. The human ships were moving in perfect formation despite the darkness, their weapons powering up. Around them, other hegemony vessels were reporting the same thing. Human forces emerging from the stellar blackout like vengeful ghosts. "How long can you maintain this?" he transmitted, hoping against hope. Chen's laugh was cold as vacuum. "Commander, we didn't hide the stars temporarily. We moved them. This is permanent. The galaxy has been fundamentally restructured and only humanity knows the new map." As if to emphasize the point, 3 human dreadnoughts decloaked directly above Zethkar's flagship. Their weapons were trained on his bridge. "The war is over," Chen announced. "Not because humanity surrendered, but because we decided to end it on our terms. We gave you a chance to coexist peacefully. You chose conquest instead. Now you face the consequences of underestimating a species that prefers to rewrite reality rather than accept defeat." Zethkar looked around his bridge, at the faces of his crew, all species that had never known true fear before this moment. They had thought humanity was losing, right up until the moment the stars went dark and the galaxy itself became humanity's weapon. For the first time in his military career, Commander Zethkar did something he had never imagined possible. He surrendered, and across the galaxy, as alien civilizations stared into the engineered darkness that now separated their worlds, they began to understand a fundamental truth about humanity. They didn't just fight wars. They redefined them.